Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
여러분 안녕하세요. 스타투 BJ
Hello guys, welcome to another Team BJ Destruction Team match. It's a little bit earlier for me. Alright, hope you're all having a good time. Today we will be watching some amazing teams play. Dark Impact and Armani versus Trap Bunny and Alive, first of all. That should be a good one. No technical difficulties at all whatsoever. I just, you know, forgot this was an entire thing overall, StarCraft. Anyway. Yeah, some amazing team matches is what we're going to be seeing today. We have in store quite a nice couple of games, hopefully. I mean, we have the winner of BlizzCon here performing, probably. Dark Impact Armani, that team, Burn Park, is the one we're going to be seeing first here. The clear favorite against the team of Trap, whose name is Woke Up to This. The team that is, you know what, maybe needing of a little bit more of a cheer here, guys. They desperately need some love from, well, anything or anyone, because they're not doing so well. Right now on a score of -0 on the bottom of the board. And, well, we'll have to wait and see how they perform, actually. Alright, so, first game is live. Let's get things rolling. We have, in the bottom right side of the map, it's the blue Zerg, Armani, fighting for Burn Park, and his opponent for Woke Up to This. It's the red Terran player. It is Alive. No zoom in for him? Alright, no zoom in for him. That's fine. Sure, he never wanted to be zoomed in upon anyway, right? It just shows all your flaws and little crevices in your face. Doesn't always do you any favors. But anyway, so far looks like people are doing, well, very standard things. Going to be looking at a Reaper Quick Expand with a quick hatchery first from Armani here. Truly the bread and butter of any ZVT matchup. It's always nice to have some TVC magic taking place, of course. Armani probably a little bit favored here. Just a little bit more, well, overall rounded at the moment, I believe, other than Alive. I'm kind of curious what Alive's overall plan will be. If he's going to still go into those battle cruises, or what exactly will be taking place there. Feel like he does have to dig a little bit deeper in the magic hat of trickery to try and beat his opponents here. The blue Zerg Armani, not somebody to be scoffed at all whatsoever. Definitely someone that needs to be well respected and fully taken into consideration when you do try to come up with a battle plan here. Factory on the way also. Most likely will be those, the reactor right on top of the barracks there to try and get some Hellions out. And there it is indeed, so once more Alive, sticking to the true and standard of this matchup. Let's see, well, only a couple of links right now being created. It's just there to defend against that, the pesky Reaper, of course. As the Queen is about to make her appearance. Before the Reaper really does manage to do anything here. I mean, almost getting a drone would have been nice. Eh. Tough love here from the Zergling Star. They do lose one of their own. I'm sure Dark wouldn't have lost that one. Armani. Trying his best now to secure that third base. The Reaper just sticking around long enough to be a pest. Killing off a second Zergling, actually. Tiny, small things like these do potentially add up later on, of course. I mean, it can still snowball away in the other, well, the Zerg's favor if the Reaper does get lost here. But a Reaper and a couple of good Hellions without enough units there to defend. That could start to snowball if you get a couple more drone kills, of course. I'll have to wait and see. Oh, an armory on the way. Are we going to see some Hellbats dropping going on? And, well, Medevac is on the way as well. The Overlords do scout everything here, so they should be aware Armani might be a good choice for him to start making a couple more queens. I'm not sure. Alright, Roach Warren, also a very good choice here. Solid choice. I think he cancelled a Baneling Nest there. Something got cancelled anyway. Other than that, we're seeing the Armory not really done yet. Losing a Hellion though. Trying to run up a ramp, which, you know what, you don't really want to even try run up as a Terran. Just knowing that that is most likely going to be guarded quite heavily. Maybe just because, you know what, most Terran don't even attempt to go through that ramp. Maybe he expected Armani to not even try to protect it, because most likely the Terran isn't going to push up there anyway. But, yeah, that definitely backfired there for Alive. You know, this aggression, even, you know what, with the Armory, of course it did get scouted so as well. So I guess he's just gonna attempt something else here, and again, his second plan B gets scouted out as well. He's trying to add his third command center here. And immediately, Armani is aware. He's making a lot of roaches here. It looks like he's gonna want to do a little bit of a counter-aggression against this greedy third base without too much drone damage being taken here by Armani. I mean, the worker count is still kind of equal. If Alive manages to defend against this, he should be very good. Alive, ooh, didn't manage to get into that natural base though, so doesn't see either the Roach Warren or the lay attack there. Well, I mean, that there's no lay attack. The absence of a lay attack, which would be a little bit of a tell. Right, I guess the Viking right here, that is a nice little bit, but it's very late with the information, so, well, only a single bunker right now is being created. +1/+1. I'm not sure if that's meant for this world. The siege tank trying its best to try and keep stuff up. Oh, a big repair coming down, but I'm not sure if that's in time. No, it's not. SCV's trying the best to form, well, interlocking with their arms, trying to make some sort of a people wall, the wall of the people. The siege tank immediately biled down quite aggressively, and now the SCVs need to stay on top of this bunker. They need to keep it alive if they do want to stay in this series, and you know what? Alive does manage to do so. He holds off. He lost his 2 engineering base, he lost the tank, but overall, well, I mean, it's not the worst. He's not completely out of this. He's a little bit behind now, I definitely would say. He needs to keep tabs on whether or not his Zerg opponent is moving across the map more so with more units. Or if he's now going into heavily droning and tacking up here. And it does appear like Armani is going to go for that more late game technology right now. He's adding a lay attack, he's adding the Evo chambers, and, well, gonna calm things down for a little bit here, realizing that, you know what, I'm not gonna break this too easily, it seems. Let me just get ahead a little bit more. After killing his engineering base, I can definitely equalize that upgrade, well, advantage that Alive previously had, and now just play on equal footing for the rest of this match. And even with being a little bit ahead, because, you know what, I got to drone quite heavily as my roaches and zerglings were washing up against the Terran shores. Nice little circling on the watchtowers there. Seeing those medevacts running by. Even a second circling now again as well. It always feels bad when you're flying medevacts across the map and you're like, oh dear lord, he saw it. Well, maybe he didn't, and then there's another thing that could see it and you're like, oh my god, well, I mean, we're gonna need a lot of luck to not have him see this, and yeah, that's right. Roach is already here. Won't allow those Marines to gain any ground here, so most likely just gonna be dropped down, get a couple of creep tumors. That would be the way to go here. Although Armani realizes this also, already moving his units into position. Very well done by our blue Zerg, keeping all the creep around. Finding a different angle here. I believe the Zergling does have slight vision now and again on these, so the roaches once again can move to intercept. Now, I have to say, I'm loving the overall vision for Armani here. He's doing a really good job at just keeping the map control and not letting Alive take, well, any actions against him, honestly. Also, Tunneling Claws on the way, together with Burrow. And an Infestation Pit also. Wow, he's getting a lot of upgrades here. Also, the Baneling's up speed upgrade. I'm not completely sure if he knows what he's up against exactly. And to be fair, I mean, neither do I as much. I mean, I know there's +2/+2. It looks like it's just a regular bio with siege tanks. But Armani wanting to do a little bit of aggressive moving out with the burrowing roaches, I'm assuming. Trying to attempt to get into some bases here. And then use those infestors defensively. Or maybe just actually, is he just using it to get up to hive tech? He's not getting any infestor upgrades, so... Huh. Interesting things here. Most likely no Spire on the way either, so... we might be seeing the Ultralisk coming out pretty soon here. Getting his +1 attack for the melee as well. Is Armani, as these roaches are moving into the main and the natural, going to be able to pick off quite a couple of SCVs here before Alive really has units in these locations. Alive does, you know what, is making a couple of waves here on the other side of the map as well. Managing to get the cancel on that base, not too bad. He needs to pick up before the Banelings hit though. Oh, it does take quite a couple of hits there as he's starting to lose SCVs here very quickly. 13 SCVs already going down the, well, the missile turret now finally being finished here, completed. But there's still roaches in the main base, stopping any mining from taking place. Life now needs to reposition his SCVs here, needs to get everything back in line. Supply depot desperately burning, crying for attention. And in he comes again, this little cheeky boy here. One roach. Life still though, still moving across the map with a nice force as he's trying to deal with the these roaches that are burrowing. He still has drops going on as well on the other side of the map, so very nice multitasking here for Alive. Keeping himself in this game, except for, I guess, you know what, we probably should stop commanding people for stuff when stuff like this is going on. Losing 6 more SCVs, I believe, to just that single roach actually. Not expecting that roach to still come into the main base. I mean, the supply overall definitely says that this is quite heavily in favor for Armani right now. But the army supply is kind of equal, and as long as the Baneling connections don't make amazing hits here, I believe in the power for Alive. He definitely can make something happen here. Good pre-splitting as well. The Marauders moving forwards in the, well, at the front, obviously. Trying the best to catch any Banelings using those concussive shells as well. Nidusworm going up in the main base of Alive. Oh my god. Can he kill off the Nidusworm entrance here before too much stuff goes in? And I'm not even sure if Armani wants to go in right now, because there is this big clump of Terran on his front porch. Oh my god, the surround is amazing. It looks like Armani is going to clean this up quite handedly, using his Viper blinding clouds quite nicely. He should have his reinforcements take care of this. The Zerglings now... Oh, actually, the Bile's hitting a little bit of his own stuff, but overall should still be A-okay, as the Nidusworm did get taken care of. Army supply is still kind of on equal footing, but it's going to be so much easier for Armani to, of course, replenish those forces, as he is, well, he's on a quite heavy economic lead here. There are the Ultralisks as well now on the production tab, at least the singular one. And that is going to be quite a trouble for Alive, who's nowhere near any kind of liberate attack, it appears. Of course, he can make, well, more Marauders, but I believe he only has one singular barracks here that does have the tech lab. He's making more barracks, trying to add tech labs onto those, most likely, if he's already aware, for the Ultralisk. No Ghost Academy either. So yeah, it's still quite a harsh position here for Alive, as he's still trying his best to make something happen with this multi-pronged aggression. Coming through the middle, the bottom two, and a medevac at the north side as well. Those Banelings Just barely making a dodging maneuver here, but is he going to micro back over them? Okay, just picks up and leaves this location here. Oh, my dear lord. Nice pull away just before the Baneling sits here in the bottom as well. He still has the top drop. Can he make something happen with that? Doesn't appear like there is anything. Oh, actually, well, I guess there's no units, but of course there are 2 spine crawlers and a queen, and 2 spine crawlers and a queen can hold off this force for a really long time, and more than enough for the Ultralisk to come over here as well. Another drop in the main base here. It does already get spotted out. There it is. Yep, quick reaction from Armani. Very unfortunate, or at least a little bit unfortunate for Mr. Alive. The links did just pop out as he was dropping there. Oh my dear lord. Queens from I don't even know where. Just taking down that Medevac. Nidus Worm drawing the attention away for Alive towards the top side of his base as the, well, the Zerglings, the Baneleys, and everything else in between is making their way to the bottom side here, trying to get some sort of a force assembled. There's a lot of siege tanks though behind this, so it's going to be very difficult for Armani to clean that entire place up. Might be able to get a couple of Banelings into the natural base though, but it looks like he doesn't attempt that. He's just going to go for an even stronger army composition for the late game. He's adding the Great Spire. And the Great Spire, obviously, the arch nemesis of the siege tank, and truly is going to put an end to the period of time where Alive can just rely on his defensive posturing with those siege tanks. That is what we are seeing changing up right now. He sees this Corruptor, which is a big deal. That is really nice for him to already see. Alright, this is on the way, it's coming my way. I need to start prepping for this, and he's prepping for it in the way of, well, he's getting the fusion core. I'm not completely convinced if this is for battle cruisers, but I mean, he is getting well, air weapons and the armor as well for mech, so maybe it's gonna be rough though. I'm not sure if it's even the right call. If it would be the right call, I definitely think Ghost might be the way to go here, but does Alive feel the same way? Needs to protect his bases now. Needs those siege tanks as split up as he can, of course. Doesn't want to run into, well, a couple of blinding clouds just ruining his day here. Oh my, okay. Whew, that was close. Okay. So the siege tanks are covering for each other here. That's a big deal, but this is a big force of Zerg just rolling through, coming in. Hello. This planetary fortress not done yet, so might be able to get something done here. The siege tanks getting absolutely annihilated. And, well, most likely we won't be seeing those being recreated anymore anytime soon. Armani is just still continuously using those Nidus Worms in the main base of Alive. Doing a bang-up job trying to keep Alive preoccupied with that. And, of course, just a single one of those finishes and that could be game for Alive here. The entirety of the Zerg force could just make their appearance right on top of the production and then, well, make it very, very difficult for Alive to make a comeback here. Now the Broodlords are forcing the Terran to respond here. He needs to move forwards into this force because of them. Otherwise they're just going to be forced to, well, die basically after quite a painful time by his own siege tanks here. The siege tanks absolutely annihilating his own marines right now with the broodlings here, and that is quite painful to see. We are still seeing more siege tanks actually coming from the production line. I'm not quite sure why. Alright, the Liberators now trying the best to deal with these Broodlords, and that is gonna force the, well, the Ultralisk, allow the Ultralisk, better said, forwards, and, well, no repellers on the Planetary Fortress, but it looks like Armani still wanting to play very safe. It doesn't want to overcommit. I'm not sure if he was overcommitting, but I guess if you do have those Broodlords available, you might as well just play it even more safe here as the Infestors are trying their best to get something done here, perhaps against those Liberators. The Ravagers getting good shots on them as well. As the Broodlords are still alive. Look at that HP. They're just not dying at all, Liberators. Come on, you can do it. You need to get, well, some sort of a increase of Liberators here. Or at least add some Vikings to the mix. Maybe some Ghosts, and that is it. GG is called. That was quite a devastating time there for Mr. Alive. For a long time there, playing from behind and never really getting his foothold in that match. Unfortunately for him, very, very unfortunate. Alright, we're gonna have to wait and see what will be brought out next for our woke up to this team. Of course, they are still 0-4 in score. They've overall won 3 matches in this entire tournament, and they've lost 12 of them, bringing them to the score of -9. And that is not where you ever want to be at as a StarCraft 2 team, of course, in a team league. -9 on the bottom of the board. We're gonna have to wait and see if they can bring this back. Of course, if they do beat Armani, they still have Impact to go through, and then the BlizzCon champion himself, Dark, is going to be the final boss, most likely. I would be surprised if they bring Dark out before they bring Impact out, but who knows? Maybe they will, trying to get themselves a little bit higher up on the board as well. Seeing how right now they are in... I believe it is it actually 3rd place? Are they in 3rd place? I feel like they should be in 4th place. Maybe I'm wrong with that one. Anyway, the standings does not lie. Let me refresh it. Maybe it is lying. No, it's not lying. They're ahead on the team that is +1. I believe that might be because they've had more games. That could be. Doesn't make sense. I think I'm missing something here. But then again, I just feel like they should be on the 4th place here. So not the most amazing time for them either. Jin Yo on +1. Oh, right. Yeah, that's alright. So Burn Park obviously played 1 more game than Jin Yo, and that is most likely why they are on the above, even though they're behind on 2 points. Something like that. I don't even know. Jin Yo, though, they have a chance to overcome this and get above the Burn Park later on in the in today's matches. Alright, so here we go. 2nd game of today, guys. In the match we jump. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Terran player. He is Bunny, fighting for Team Woke Up to this. They desperately need some victories on the board. Can Bunny do it? Can he do it with this cheesy play that he's doing right now against the blue Zerg in the top left, which is Armani? I don't blame him at all. Bringing out a cheese here, you know what, at some point you're going to get desperate, and you know what, I already felt kind of desperate for this team, and I desperately want them to get a victory here against this all Zerg team. That would be the best thing to happen right now, in my opinion. Any Zerg fans, you can... it's okay, you can have your other stuff, alright? I just want this to happen right now. You had BlizzCon. Give us the Team League for the BJ destruction. 3 barracks on the other side of the map. There's no gases being taken, so it will be the mass marine play here from Bunny. Bunny, let's see if he gets a bunker up. Also, there is already a overlord out on the map right in front of that natural base, scouting for any type of bunker play here, or if any funky moving SCVs. Armani still, though, is spawning pool only now finishing, and if Bunny pulls up a couple of those marines, maybe he has a bit of a better chance. But alright, there we go. He does get scouted out here, does go in immediately as quickly as possible. Once they got that bunker started, all the drones are moving forwards off the line here. That's a lot of drones being pulled right now. He needs to move away as quickly as he can away from those, and gets one of them. One marine will get surrounded. No, actually not getting surrounded here. The Rambo Marine. Oh my god. Okay, there he is. Getting surrounded this time. Killing off so many Marines. And I'm not even sure if this is still a possibility. What's happening with the bunker? The bunker not being completed here. It's almost ready though. There's still 2 SCVs, of course, out on the map. Ready to help out with this situation. But there's so many links already out here to try and kill off everything. I'm not sure if this is going to work anymore. Bunny may already have faltered here. That is so many links to try and micro against. This is going to be very, very painful here for our red Terran player. Trying to get towards his bunkers to reduce surface area. But, oh my dear lord, losing all his SCVs as well. And this push is as dead as a dodo. As dead as a primal Zerg after Karrakin was done with that planet. Did Karrakin actually kill that planet? I'm not even sure. What happened to that planet? I forgot. It's a long time ago since I played that campaign mission. Anyway. So. Well, I mean. Oh boy. Please. Okay, well, I guess he does get a wall. He does get a wall up. That is something, right? That's a start, but he's still gonna. You know what? He's still gonna lose the wall, most likely, right? He's trying his best, but the links do get in. The Marines did have a little bit of time to get over there. There's a nice lowering of the supply depots, giving a little bit of extra time for these Marines to get over there. Or, well, making it cost less time for the Marines to get over there, I should say. Nice splitting as well, but more and more links are streaming across the map here. The barracks still producing Marines. This is so difficult to transition out of. I feel like Bunny is trying to do some sort of a follow-up attack afterwards. He's trying to bulk up as many Marines as he can, but he needs to stop losing this. And the Zerglings actually are scouting out that there is still more Marines in production. The Overlord scouting the massive amount of SCVs also marching across the map here. Armani has all the cards right now. He knows what's happening. The Spinecrawler is already set up and ready to go. Itching to be poking at those little Terran heads and faces. Oh my god, even a wall against the SCVs here. Very, very smart stuff coming out of Armani, but Bunny trying to get an opening coming in through here. All the Marines. That is still a lot of Marines, but oh my god, is it going to be enough? I'm not quite sure. There's so many Queens. The second Spinecrawler also finishes. Needs to get right on top of that. There he goes, poking ahead, and the SCVs are looking like they are going to fall quite quickly here. How many Zerglings in production? 10 more in production. This Spinecrawler getting transfused completely into a med bay. It's like he's, you know what, he's just on one of those hospital beds, and he's being infused with some sort of chemical drug, keeping it alive. Continuous blood transfusion. The Queen's giving him CT scans, anything he needs. Alright, GG is called. Second game goes to Burn Park. Burn Park now up to 2-0 with Armani in the driving seat here. Taking 2 games away from Woke Up To This. Now, Woke Up To This, they still have their one amazing player, of course, in the form and shape of Trap. Although, personally, I don't know, Trap hasn't been performing up to his usual tournament qualities in these games over here in the Team Destruction League. So I'm a little bit fearful here, but maybe that is the right mindset to have. Trap needs to be very cautious if he's going to face off against 3 Zerg opponents here. He needs to beat 3 Zerg opponents in a row. Armani, Impact, and of course the final boss, Dark. Just waiting, looking at these games, being able to analyze everything Trap is doing before he gets over towards him. And that is going to be very, very scary indeed. Armani may very well be taking an all-kill here, and if that's going to be the case, well, I mean, that's going to be very unfortunate for any Dark fan or Trap fan, or I guess anyone except for any Armani fan, I suppose. If you're an Armani fan, well, this was your day. I'm sure he has plenty of fans. Plenty of fans. Anyway. Okay. I mean, he is a really good Zerg. He's a good Zerg. He's fun to watch as well. I mean, as we saw, very, very clean hold there, continuously playing it very safe. Second game, especially. First game, trying a little bit of harassment, not working out. But again, then, even before then, right, he scouted out the armory. He knew that there was hellbats on the way. He quickly put down the roach warden, made all the right calls to prep for the defense that Alive could throw out at him at that time. And ever since then, he was just in a dominant position, and it was very difficult for Alive to make a comeback happen after that, of course. Very unfortunate. Anyway, we still have Trap versus Armani coming up. I'm sure that is being set up right now as our Korean casters are patiently waiting as well. Look at that. I'm sure they are having a great time. But, yeah, man. Oh, this is going to be very difficult. This is going to be very difficult. I mean, I have a friend who's a big Trap fan. Me, not so much. I mean, he's good. He's really good. But, I don't know. Sometimes I just see games from him and it's like, well, is this really the pinnacle of Protoss? Is this really where they can bring themselves to? I mean, it still feels like there's a lot of potential, you know what, for improvement. And I'm not sure if I'm making, you know, Trap fans angry at me right now, but I still feel like there is some room for improvement for this player. In the bottom right side, it's the red Protoss. It is Mr. Trap, going for a 3-base wall off here, straight ahead, and it doesn't look like he will get punished too heavily, as Armani in the top left is just gonna most likely go for that quick expand. As if he goes for a 16 pool, a little bit less of an aggressive pool. Could still be okay against this wall off, of course, but yeah, you don't really see that as much. There it is. More than enough minerals to drone right there on the second base location as well, so he is going to go for that quick hatchery, as Trap is just looking to get his groove rolling on the other side as well. Curious to see as to when he's going to get that Nexus. Would be quite a bluffing type of way, right? Where you kind of just say, all right, I'm getting my wall up in a way where I will go for 3 bases and then just you go for a 1-base attack. That would be quite miraculous, but not going to be the case, obviously, here for Trap. As it is, of course, so easy for that Overlord to just kind of scoot on over to that Nexus and then just be like, alright, I guess you don't have it. I guess you're not expanding, alright. Would have to play against quite a lazy type of Zerg, who wouldn't just move his Overlord towards that location. Armani going up to 3 base very quickly as well here, making it before the probe even gets across the map. Very safe way, so you know you won't be blocked off here. As the probe now is seeing, yep, alright, it's there. Won't be able to be annoying in that situation anymore. Playing it safe as well, the probe just kind of further away from the hatchery. If there are a lot of Zerglings moving out here, he will know, he will be aware. Doesn't necessarily have to go all the way into the base to figure out the work count this way. Might still do so, of course, but so far just happy to have that little probe around for as long as possible. The Queen here, gonna make life a little bit more difficult, of course, for the probe to do his job, but just moving backwards a little bit. Now the Adept is gonna take over for the probe. The probe can go away, Mr. Probe. It's okay. It's interesting, actually. Going in with the Adept instead of the Shade. Very often you see the Adept shading into Scout and then just, you know, cancelling the Shade. This time, though, Trap, that was pretty cool, actually. Going in with the Adept at the low Zergling count and then using the Shade to go back to safety right there, right then and there. A smart play. Sacrificial probe. Not sure if that's like a ritualistic thing to do, or like some sort of sacrifice for the Zerg gods, trying to please the Zerg to not kill off his the rest of his workers in some way. Oracle is, you know what, gonna be met by some Spore Crawlers here. Are there Spore Crawlers everywhere? There are, actually. Armani just... I'm not sure if they already scouted it with an Overlord, but it looks like he may have, or he just kind of knew what Trap likes to do anyway, right? I mean, Trap is very well known for that Oracle play. He is the... Wait, how did he have vision? Huh, interesting. Anyway, pretty sure that Overlord was on the high ground, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, anywho... The Oracle still doing things here. 3 gateways and then Templar Archives being thrown down. No third base yet. Full trap here. No very quick third base. So we may very well be seeing a 2-base aggressive play here. Especially now that we're seeing the Zealot legs also being upgraded. And 2 more gateways going down. Wow, alright. I mean... If there ever was a tell for the Protoss to start being aggressive, this could very well be it. Oracle in the natural, I believe. There's a status trap going down as well. Armani reacting very nicely, though, only having 1 single drone. So a good reaction by him. Couple of gateways and Archon drop first of all, alright. So maybe the Archon drop is going to get followed up by some sort of Zealot's Archon aggression. And behind that, he is getting his third base after all. Yes, those 2 more gateways at the front are finishing up right now. Ooh. Moving away actually before the status trap finished off there. Can you status trap eggs? Is that a thing? I don't play Zerg or Protoss, so I wouldn't necessarily know. So would it be kind of an interesting little interaction? I mean, you can't run away with the eggs or the larvae, so... Oh, this is neat as well. Getting quite a bit of value here, just trading out against these army units. Still very, very nicely done here by Trap, getting, well, as much value as he probably can using those units here. Just keeping them busy, keeping Armani on his toes as well. Keeping him busy as he is just trading out more favorably overall. Because he's not losing anything, and Armani obviously losing Lings, losing a couple of roaches. Slowly but surely, Trap gaining the upper hand in that sense, but we have to be aware that, of course, there are the Swarm hosts on the way. I'm pretty sure there's a Nidus somewhere as well. And, yeah, that is going to be starting pretty soon. A very, very well-known way of being aggressive here for the Zerg, of course. It's going to be very difficult for Trap to keep everything scouted out and trying to kill off any Nidus worms before they actually get set off here. Archons also now being cleaned up. This is a nice little maneuver by Armani, cleaning out the areas over here, trying to already set up the areas for his Nidus worms later on in the game. Prepping these locations for his Nidus worms, and then actually just gonna go for the main base. Oh my god, Trap not paying attention here. Alright, his probe does scout it out, but is there a reaction? I don't think it's going to be in time. Oh my dear lord, yeah, that Nidus worm is definitely going to be finished off, and now all the all the locusts coming in here. Needs to be careful. Okay, does manage to get out with all of them as well. Actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Most of the locusts just dropping down right then and there, killing off a couple of zealots. I mean, it's still a favorable trade, of course, for Armani. But still, it could have been so much worse. No Nexuses were killed during the making of this StarCraft 2 match yet. Force Fields here, trying to keep his Immortal safe. Nice micro with the War Prism here as well. Needs to be careful, needs to stop picking them up. Oh, okay, there we go. Very quick draw there. Another Nidus worm being taken out. A couple of Zealots need to stay over there just to deal with that location from now on, it seems. More Archons are being created. Archons are kind of a... well, they are a little bit of a nice solution against this, but It's really a band-aid solution, and it's not even the greatest because, you know what, they are kind of clunky, they are kind of slow, and oh my dear lord, are you kidding me? Trap in a world of hurt now. And, well, I'm not sure if, I mean, losing that third base, that is going to be putting the clock on Trap, and he could try to move out, of course, but it just feels like there's definitely going to be at least one more Nidus wave of Locust popping out before he actually manages to move across here, especially with the creep right outside of his front door. I'm not sure if he has observers there either to start cleaning that up with, but yeah, this is going to be an area where he can just continuously keep popping up with those Niduses. Okay, now it's being cleaned up. Nice revelation there by the Oracle. More roaches and ravages now coming in. I mean, that's an army you might be able to face off against, but you're going to take so many losses that you won't have anything anymore to defend against the Locust at this point in time. As Armani is just up with 196 supply versus only 150. Pretty much 50 supply ahead right now. Yes, alright, I mean, this amount of Archons, that is really good. Look at that, taking care of a wave there before it actually manages to land. Nice positioning there by Trap. But again, those Archons, they're so slow, they're so clunky, it's really difficult to maneuver your way through your own base to get yourself into those positions to defend against those Locusts. As Armani is making his move, trying to get some sort of damage on, on the army that is just kind of keeping him inside of his own area here. Oh my god, almost losing all his High Templar. Oh, those were really nice biles, I have to say. That was a good, valiant attempt, but... Locust? Alright, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for Trap there. Very lucky, actually. Only getting a single cannon. Armani, if he rewatches this game, he's going to be hitting himself after that moment. Maybe he's just going to laugh, as he knows that it won't matter too much. For this little force of Protoss is most likely not going to be enough. Trap realizes it also. He's already getting, well, some sort of other technologies, getting another base up as well, trying to get some sort of maxed out army composition which can be used to deal with this heavy number of, well, roaches and locusts and everything else, and brute lords that are going to be following up too, of course. The thing is, right now, I'm not even sure if Trap wants to kill off the roaches anymore. I'm pretty sure you're kind of happy with those roaches being around, blocking any supply. But then again, you know, if you just march the roaches and the Ravagers as well all the way into your opponent's base, you kind of have to deal with them, right? You can't just let them kill you just because you don't want to have the follow-up army that is, you know what, being cleaned up supply for here. A lot of really good biles. And I mean, yeah, I wouldn't chase this down, Trap. I really wouldn't. Just let those roaches be. Don't let him get up to the Corruptors and the Brute Lords as heavily in number as he wants to. And then maybe if you have a maxed out army, you might be able to, oh my dear lord, you might be able to get some sort of a wrecking ball force rolling across the map, and then before Armani actually manages to replenish his forces, you may be able to make a dent big enough in the Zerg economy that from there you kind of find yourself into a winning position here. Of course, Armani though, playing absolutely wonderfully so far. Doing everything he needs to keep Trap in, well, a very dire situation here. And there they are, those pesky Brute Lords. Gonna be helping out with the Locust. At only 13 minutes in this game so far. And feels like we've had this going on for a lot longer, maybe because there was so much happening here. And yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything he can do. Trap unfortunately has to GG out. And GG is called indeed. That was rough. That was a rough one to watch. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, very well played by Armani, but overall, I mean, that was a really hard situation for Trap right from the get-go. Of course, that map really facilitates the Nidus Swarm host play as well, making it very difficult for the Brothers to deal with it overall. And you know what, he did okay with a couple of the waves, but losing his Nexus there in the first... Well, one of the first waves, that was a very, very crushing blow, and he lost it because, well, a lot of his forces were blocked off with buildings that were above that Nexus. And, yeah, if those Archons, like, if he had his War Prism there as well to ferry those Archons above, on top of those Locusts, he would not have lost that Nexus, guys. He wouldn't have. Of course, it is easier said than done, of course, but still, like... That was really close, like 3 Locusts managed to get like 6 more, or well, maybe 4 more shots off, and actually finishing off that Nexus, and yeah, that shouldn't have happened in that moment there, I feel like, but oh well, and yeah, alright, we are gonna have to wait to see what will happen next. Well, we kind of know already in a way, right? We're gonna be watching Jin Air Yo versus the Patience one-man team. Today's result, Burn Park definitely getting themselves up in the leaderboard here. Although they are still behind with 7 points, actually, with the what was that team called again? To Busan Guy 2. Busan Guy 2. That's the one. That team is still ahead with, well, they were with 7 points. Right now they're still ahead with 4 points. So Busan Guy 2, if they lose their next game 3-0, they're still going to be ahead for Burn Park. Burn Park will have to win more games after that one. We'll have to wait and see if they still manage to secure themselves a 3rd place spot here. But Jin Air Yo as well in a reasonable position to try and take that 3rd place spot away. Or 2nd place, I'm sorry. The 2nd place spot away from Busan Guy 2. Maru, Cure and Creator. If they manage to get a really good run against this team, Ragnarok, Patience and Super, I mean, that would be the dream, of course. If they manage to get a 3-0, they will put themselves in a good position where they may be able to topple over Busan Guy 2 and Burn Park straight afterwards as well, of course. Or right before that, I suppose I should say, because Burn Park is still below. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one, guys. I hope you are ready for some more StarCraft. Ragnarok, Patience and Super, they haven't been doing all that well right now. They're on -2 points. They've been doing a lot better, though, than Patience. Well, no, wait, Woke Up to This. They have been doing a lot better than, as opposed to Woke Up to This. They actually have a victory, right? They have an actual match victory. They've won 1, lost 3. They've won 7 maps. They've lost 9, so that is much closer than 3-12. Which is, you know what? It just still sounds kind of ridiculous. Woke Up to This now. Actually, they're 3-15. Come to think about it, 3-15. They're down with a minus 12 points here. Oh my dear lord. All right. Anyway, the first game between these two teams is going to be taking place here. Jin Air Yo versus Patience one-man team. We have for the Jin Air Yo Cure, the blue Terran player in the top left, and Patience one-man team is going to be the red Protoss player, Super, right now, here in the bottom right side. And we'll have to wait and see how this unfolds. A TVP matchup. Haven't had this one today yet, of course, with Burn Park. You wouldn't have it anyway, right? Because they only have Zergs in their team. And, you know what, it's been working out for them rather okay. I mean, they're not on top of the board, which, you know what, some people on Twitter might say they should have been, right? Especially having Dark on that team. What an absolute beast that guy is, isn't he? Jeez Louise. Taking BlizzCon. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway. Definitely some upsets there that happens. I'm still thinking about them sometimes, but especially right now. But anyway, anywho, we have a Reaper Quick Expand, and a Quick Nexus. After the Cybernetic score, though, so you know what? Still playing it safe here is Mr. Super. Super being annoying as well. Gonna not allow this command center, excuse me, to be placed here for quite a while, actually. Being delayed with about 150 minerals, which is quite a big deal, I have to say. Going for the... I think he tried to get something else first before this, but... oh well, we'll have to wait and see. Reaper does manage to kill off the probe before it goes in again for its secondary scout. I'm not sure if it actually saw the command center. I think it did. At least it saw the bunker, right? So the bunker already a very big tell here that, of course, there is actually a command center being put down there. Other than that, may have wanted to get into the main base with that probe, or at least up the ramp here to see what was happening, but not being allowed to do so. Alright, Cure now going to be trying to do the same thing in the other side of the map. Oh, that Adept moving away, making room for the Reaper to start moving in here. Going to be able to get a really good scout. Sees, well, one gateway, one cybernetic score, and what's this? Oh, that's a Twilight Council you got over here, right? That is not too shabby. Scouting-wise, realizing what's gonna be happening, well, at least having a little bit more of an indication of what could occur, right? We are seeing more adepts being created, but still we are seeing Blink. I was expecting maybe glaives to come out here just because of the amount of adepts that we're seeing being created here. But Blink will be the maneuver here. Blink, obviously, a very nice ability to either be aggressive or defensive with. Both can work out fantastically, or maybe even in conjunction with each other, right? Just keep a couple of them at home, keep a couple of them out on the map to start poking at Terran forces trying to move out. And then already keeping, well, slowing down that push and even allowing you to be aware that that push is coming your way. Of course, the Widowmine drop is going to be the choice of action here for Cure, and Blink is a very nice tool against that, of course. Looks like it should be finished up here before the Widowmine drop gets anywhere near as well. So a very, very quick Blink here from Super. Should keep him safe. Right. Out comes the medevac. Not sure if we're chrono boosting out the Blink here, but if we're not, we definitely should do one more little chrono boost, and that should finish up here. Just before the Widowmine drop comes in, the Adept also scouting out the medevac here. Beautiful positioning, seeing what is happening. A little bit of a lazy maneuver there, maybe from the medevac going in through that location over here. But there it is. Okay, Blink not done yet, actually. The probe's trying to get on top of them. Oh, reasonable connections, actually getting 5 kills here. As Blink only now just finishes. I really thought that would finish up in time. I'm not sure if he continuously kept chronoing that ability, but who knows? Who knows? Anyway. The Stalkers are trying their best to catch out this medevac. If the medevac gets out, that would be even more massive for Cure, of course. And Super really desperately trying to catch that. Actually now moving backwards. So the medevac does manage to make his retreat. Good readjustment of the pathing here for that medevac. Another well-positioned scout here for Super. Seeing another medevac coming in as the Reaper might be able to draw some attention away. Oh, yes, I think very well it may have worked. The Widowmines are inside the main base, and here it is. Massive Widowmine hits. That's 12 more probes going down right into the gutter. And the medevac gets out again. 2 more Widowmines staying up here. Cure having an amazing start so far with those Widowmine drops. Super not being aware of that Widowmine medevac coming in at the bottom there, even though he did have the observer in position, just not looking at the mini-map at the right time. So what is going to be next? Colossi are on the way with the extended thermal lance. I'm not sure if Cure actually already saw this coming across. I'm pretty sure he did actually with that medevac and the Widowmines in the main base. It must have been close enough to really see what is happening there. So he knows that it's either Colossi or it's going to be Disruptors. And that means that he is going to go for... Alright, he's already adding Vikings, so that's a really good call. Disruptors wouldn't have been a bad choice either, but then again, of course, those might be a little bit more susceptible against those Blink Stalkers, of course, might be able to get picked off a little bit easier. As the Marine Marauder attack is... You know what, it's not really an attack, is it? It's just a little bit of pressure, just trying to keep the Protoss army, well, on point, moving around, and keeping him honest as well. Might be able to trade out with a couple of gateway units, that would be nice, of course. That overall would force Super to invest more into gateway units, and then, of course, delaying his upgrades, delaying his AoE units as well. Forge on the way, charge on the way is almost done actually already. Another medevac with Widowmine coming in. Okay, this shouldn't do too much actually. Oh my dear lord. Alright, 4 more going down. Super really not having the best probe movements here when it comes to Widowmines. And Kier looking like he is in a very dominant position right now. Ghost Academy also on the way, so he's getting ready for everything. Most things that a Protoss opponent can throw at him. Dominant supply lead as well. Of course, we have to remember those amazing Widowmine hits now at the start of the game, where it's just already very difficult for Super to make something happen backwards here. Okay, big attack might be moving across the top side of the map here, but looks like Super is already in a marvelous position to stop that from happening. Actually, moving backwards now, moving into the main base. Oh no, never mind. He's just pulling my leg here. Just sending a couple of units, just the Stalkers it seems. That's actually a pretty good maneuver. Stalks in the main base, the rest of the army at the front. A classic Protoss split of the army. The Stalkers can deal with the drops or anything flying coming in through the main area. And then the rest of your army can kind of deal with ground forces. At least for long enough for those Stalkers to move backwards into the main army. That's so many Vikings. That is so many Vikings. And already he has Ghosts out as well. He's just waiting for the EMP upgrade. And then I think he's gonna go for a big attack here. Should be in a wonderful position here. The supply gap has been closed up here by Super though. But then again, I'm not sure in what kind of units that was. It feels like it's a lot of gateway units, not that many real strong units against either the Ghosts or well, all the Vikings that are here as well. Might be a little bit overkill actually, this amount of Vikings. Looking at it right now, there's 4 Colossi. I guess, you know what, it's still nice. You're gonna pretty much one-shot Colossus now, and then they aren't gonna be able to do absolutely anything. Then you can just land the Vikings somewhere behind or in front, tank some more damage that way, maybe kill off some zealots with them. Alright, good blink here forwards. The Vikings might be able to start poking as well. No, still moving backwards. Just gonna go in with his other force right here in the top right. A nice drop. Multi-pronged aggression strikes again. And Kier doing a reasonable job so far. Just kind of preoccupying Super here. +3/+3 will be created fairly soon. As he's getting himself into a really good position here to start taking out this base. The Vikings have a wonderful dead space here where the Stalks are going to have difficulty moving across, but they don't even really have to. They're just... Oh my dear lord, I'm a little bit surprised with those Vikings actually. Definitely thought they would make more use of that dead space there, but maybe it's still going to be enough in the... Well, there's still a lot of Marauders here, but Super there, it felt like a really weird attack. He definitely had the numbers there to make something happen, but the Vikings, they just kind of moved forwards and then stood above those Archons and Stalkers. Just kind of let them get themselves killed there without really poking for a while against those Colossi. And the Colossi now, still 3 of them standing up, right, thanks to the War Prism Micro as well. Now Super is in a pretty good position here to maybe get some counter-aggression done. More Vikings are out on the map. Not that many Archons left, all Stalkers left to try and defend those Colossi. So a smart move backwards from Super, I would say, as more and more Vikings are coming out on the map. It's kind of funny how I said it was an overkill amount of Vikings, and then they just don't kill anything. But yeah, you definitely need to stay on top of the movement and positioning of those Vikings to really let them get the volleys that they need to. And that definitely didn't happen. Most of them were already dead before a second or third volley was hit. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but he didn't get the lethal amount of damage that he wanted to get. He's still not out of this yet, though, of course. Kind of trading a little bit equally, just because he was already ahead overall in the game. So now, kind of on an equal foothold. He does have those 3 orbital command centers in the middle here. That is going to be helping out quite a bit. He might be able to sacrifice a couple more SCVs now, because he doesn't need that much in form and shape of mineral mining, of course. Pretty reasonable position so far. Scanning ahead, might be able to get this drop rolling into that 4th base location as his main force is moving forwards here. Massive EMP blankets. I hope you're cold and you like blankets, because, well, we got a lot of them. Oh my dear lord, well, it's not it's not enough. It's not enough. All the Vikings once again losing their life, trying to kill off the Colossi just, well, centimeters away from those Stalkers. This is a really good drop, actually. Killing off the 4th base still. So that is making this very much worth it overall. Still, that's still quite a couple of Colossi. Super, though, does GG out. Alright, that makes sense. That makes sense. Alright. I mean, it wasn't the best engagement again there in the middle, but taking out that 4th base map did definitely put Super in a very difficult situation where he was already, you know what, right from the get-go behind, economically speaking, and then just taking another big economic blow in that way. Most likely going to be losing that other base up there as well, being put down to 3 bases as they're kind of trading equally with their forces isn't going to be the way for him to win this. So just tapping out, realizing that, you know what, that's enough for me. I'm done with this game. I have to go back and play some other games right now so I can get my practice up. I mean, it must have already been kind of frustrating losing that amount of probes. I believe it was like 14 probes. 14 probes! And then from the other one as well, he got like lost like 2 or something. 4? Was it 4 probes? 4 probes, plus then like 12 or 14. That's a lot of probes. But alright. Alright. We're gonna have to wait and see who they bring out next for team... 1 second. Sorry. Team, Patience one-man team. Yep, that's the one. Cure fighting for Gennaro. Getting messages. Alright. Anyway, guys. Who will be facing next against this Terran monstrosity? Cure, showing absolute amazing micro there. And, well, finding his way into the Protoss. How could you call this? I always say probing themselves into their liver. That's a nice expression I like to use, but I feel like I need to come up with something else, something a little bit more Protoss-y. Probing themselves into the Protoss there. Oh, what's that thing called they are communicating with again? I don't know. That thing they are communicating with. Their ponytails. Probing themselves into the ponytails. Anyway. In the bottom right, we have Mr. Patience himself for the Patience one-man team. Or the Ragnarok one-man team, of course. The person who got themselves the all-kill at one point. The only victory this team has gotten so far has been thanks to Ragnarok himself, who beat 3 opponents. And Cure right now here, looking like a very strong opponent against his Protoss opponents here so far. Can he do it one more time? Is he going to go for the exact same thing? Patience, of course, a little bit better than, well, Super, to be fair. We will have to be honest with that. Patience, a very strong opponent, and that's why they named their team after Patience, after all. They're not too shy about it. They realize who their MVP is, and it is going to be Patience. It's a bold move, putting your MVP out right now, of course, because, well, I mean, you do have a little bit more of a chance to get the, well, more points on the board, allowing you to get more points on the board, bringing yourself up in those scoreboards here a little bit. They really have to, because they are behind with -2 overall. If they manage to get, well, 2 more points on the board, if Patience wins 2 games right now, they will actually put themselves on 0, putting themselves just a... Let me think about this. You're putting themselves above Jin Ayo there with a single point. So then they will be in 4th place. If Patience does manage to kill off both his opponents that are coming up. But that is if he actually manages to do so. If they only win 1 game, they're still going to be behind, well, 1 point against Jin Ayo. So it comes down to this. But then again, I suppose being only 1 point behind is still preferable to then being... Wait, will that be 1 point behind if they lose 1 game? I mean 2 games. If they lose 2 games... Man, alright. No, I think they'll still be behind with 2 points then. No? Ha. Ha. -2. Well, they definitely just... Let's just say they don't want to lose 3 games in a row. That's... that is for sure. It's gonna be a very rough place for them to come back here with the overall leaderboard. Stargate's play will be the choice of action here for Patience. Look, Cure did scout it out. He's got his Widow Mines already in production once more, going for that same strategy. The same initial strategy. He might keep his Widow Mines a little bit more at home until he does see those oracles coming out. Oh, nice. Quite the ballsy play there from that Widow Mine, already on half HP now. Might have to be repaired before he actually starts moving forwards in any medevac. But then again, we're not seeing any medevacs actually being created right now. So I'm not going to go for the drops, just going to go for the Widow Mine defensively. And in combination with a Viking and a lot of Marines so far. So not a bad choice actually from Cure after scouting the Stargate, of course. If he just protects himself perfectly against the Stargate, that in itself already should be a very good, solid way to get himself rolling in this first game. A little bit of a grey screen there. I apologize for that one. Right, 2 more tac labs coming down, 2 more barracks as well. Curing up so he can do a 2 base timing push potentially. A little bit of aggression so far, I should say. Getting the singular engineering bay also. A lot of... Well, he is still playing very defensively. I believe he's even getting a reactor right now on top of that factory. And then... Did he already get a starport here? I'm not completely sure. Gonna have to wait and see what the positioning is of the base here. Could be that he's also creating... Well, yeah, of course, he made a Viking. Of course. I'm a goof. I don't goofed. This one Viking, though, being met by Oracles. Oracles pretending to be Phoenixes. I mean, if you do it with enough confidence, maybe the Viking will be tricked into believing that they are Phoenixes, in fact. Unfortunately, though, I mean, they're still going to die, ultimately, and they won't be able to do anything against the Viking, but... Either way. Cannon Combat Shield, Stim Pack upgraded as well. Couple of Medevacs on the way, more Widow Mines also. Still looks like Cure is planning to do some sort of timing attack using those units. It could potentially hurt quite a bit, of course. He didn't really take any damage from the Oracles, so he's in a good position that way. And with the investment of the Oracles here, making it difficult for Patience to have enough units potentially to really hold off any type of big base timing attack. Now, Status Trap, nicely... Well, good thinking here from Cure. Sending one Marine forwards first, so he doesn't lose too much, but... I mean, those two Widow Mines back there that did get captured, that's a big deal. In fact, if you definitely don't want to have that happen with your Widow Mines, you definitely just want to have it happen to... Well, maybe 2 Marines, that's okay, but 2 Widow Mines, that's too much, really. And now he has to wait for them. So very difficult. Alright, he does scan, sees that there is one more over there. So should be aware. Not move in too aggressively on that location. Until he manages to set off that trap. Patience. Losing a Stalker there, I believe. Has a little bit of a flanking force as well. Looking in the top right side of the map. The Widow Mines now being forced to burrow here. A nice revelation coming down. Gonna be seeing a couple more units being taken out here. That revelation is quite gruesome. And yeah, giving the Starks a nice opportunity to just take down all the Widow Mines here actually. As Cure just doesn't have the forces to truly break through, and that means Patience in a very good position here. So far, not losing anything really. Just killing off Widow Mines from afar, using the Revelations and the Blink Stalkers. Very nicely microed here from Patience so far. As Cure now trying to get through these tiny bridges. Needs to be so careful with those force fields there. Templar Archives now also about to be finished up. As we're waiting for, well, Patience's retaliation. What's going to be his answer? There's a couple of adepts in the third base. The Oracles now. Oh, that is so smart. He realizes that the... maybe a little bit of miss micro there. Overall from Patience, as he does get forced to pay more attention on his home fronts here. But yeah, getting those adepts in that third base, making the SUVs run outwards, and then sending in the Oracles as the SUVs run away from the missile turret there. Very, very nicely thought out plan there for Patience. Nice attempt, but unfortunately for him, had to look backwards. Oh, needs to be careful of that trap. But yeah, I had to look backwards for... There was a big bioforce moving forwards here. No force fields were used there just yet. I'm very curious to see how much energy is on top of those sentries. That is going to be a big deal in this next upcoming fight. As we're just seeing a parade push coming through for the Terran here. Moving across the map. All those Widow Mines are so clumped up though. That's not really the positioning you want for your Widow Mines. Might be just looking to lock on all at the same time on a small group of units, and then absolutely overkill just a couple of those units. It's never what you want to have happen. It's not a very efficient way to use your Widow Mines anyway. Trying his best to make something happen here, but not really finding a lot of ground to work with. Very nice force fields so far for Patience. Continuously setting off those Widow Mines as well with singular units. The control for Patience has been absolutely beautiful. And yeah, not much that Cure can make happen in this theater of war so far. As High Templar are making their way into the battlefield as well. Already having Storm available. Ghost narrowly following them into the, well, the scene of battle. But then again, I mean, it's going to take a... What in the world happened there? Did you see that? The Widowmine set off, but then the Zealot still charged after it set off. And then charged into the Widowmine before the actual thing hit the Zealot. And then, what in the world? How does that work? Blizzard? Blizzard, how does that work? They killed each other. He ran through the missile and the explosion, setting off an explosion. But then, because he was so quick, he outran the explosion that he ran through. And then, I don't even know. I don't even know how that works. I'm trying to come up with some sort of excuse. Nice cancel of a 4th base here, though, by Cure. Cure, though, as a Terran, obviously, can make that 4th base in his 3rd base, keeping it a little bit more safe. As Patience still having a nice warp-in location in the top right side there, which most likely will be Cure's his 4th base location, unless if he wants to grab the one in the middle so he has a bigger, or, well, shorter range to start attacking from. Nice attempt to flank here, but that could just be spelling doom for these Terran units, as more Zealots are actually in the 3rd base now, killing off quite a bit here. Reinforcing units not in a position to really deal with this. The bunker trying his best as well to try and kill off these Zealots before too much damage is dealt. 11 workers did get killed off there. A nice pickup with those medevacts. Rescuing a lot of those units there in the left side of the map. +2, also about to finish, and the Ghosts are now here, ready to start countering the High Templar and the Archon technology. And Patience already aware of the Ghosts, so changing into the technology of Disruptors. Not a bad choice at all whatsoever. I'm still just looking at the minimap every time. I'm still seeing this, just this red blip there at the top side. Oh my dear lord, I would love for Cure to start dealing with that and you know what, make it more difficult for Patience to get that counter-aggression rolling. Oh my god, the probes running through their own storm here. Setting off a Widow Mine potentially. Nice storm drops coming in from above. Medevacs not healing just yet. Alright, I mean, there we go. Now the Ghosts need to pay attention. That's a big disruptor hit, actually. I don't think anybody got saved there through use of those medevacs. Oh my god, another massive disruptor hit. And that should be the end of this aggression here. Once more. And that should secure the 4th base for Mr. Patience, as Mr. Patience is just killing off more workers. Because, you know what, he still has that beautiful warp-in location there with the gateway and a pylon on the right side. Just on the right side of Cure's bases. Now trying to retreat, still being chased hot upon his heels by those stalkers. Cure now definitely... Well, actually, the overall worker count... No, it's actually in favor for Cure here. Actually, looking at the overall stuff that's happening, the 4th bases not being taken that far apart from one another. The distance as well is going to be a little bit closer for Cure to push, so it's going to be easier for him to start pushing against his opponents here. I'm just hoping that we are going to see a planetary fortress on that 4th base, or else Patience has 2 bases to choose from to just, you know what, continuously warp in towards... or next to, and then just, you know, move either one way or the other way. Oh, this is a way too big of a reaction coming out of Cure, moving all his forces in his main base for that War Prism, and Patience is jumping on the opportunity now to deal more economic damage. The 4th base for Cure does get torn asunder, as, well, Cure was completely out of position, losing 20 workers here, and now in on a devastating lower count of workers. Almost half the workers now available for Cure, as opposed to Patience having 60 workers overall, and those 4 bases also. Cure on the clock. He does have more, well, army supply, but I mean, the single disruptor hit could definitely turn the favors back into Patience, his supply. There are a couple of Vikings out here as well. They aren't going to be as useful. Maybe soak up a little bit of damage. Okay, nice dodge. Oh my god, that was still massive actually. Massive hits once more from the Disruptors. Alright, I mean, one more Disruptor is available. Reasonable hit, reasonable hit. Actually, there's two more. Now there's one more. Alright, alright. I mean, can he make it work? Good EMPs need to land right on top of those High Templar. The High Templar is still available with Storm. Actually, kind of a whiffed Storm there. That Storm didn't hit anything. It's not something you see every day. And now Cure managing to find himself into the ponytail of the Protoss here. This sidewards expansion being lane waste to. Absolutely devastated, and still more Zealots being warped in on that same location every single time and just killing off so many of these SCVs. It is absolutely insane, and this is still happening, and still not a single Terran unit has been sent towards that location trying to deal with this. Oh my god, that Disruptor ball was so juicy. That was absolutely terrifying. Needs to pick it off. There we go. Okay, one more coming in. Okay, nice dodge on that one. Splitting up. I mean, Patience is really good actually with these Disruptor balls. He sends them out in the middle, but then he actually adjusts them as well. And as he adjusts them, he just gets absolutely terrifying amounts of damage. Alright, good EMPs once more right on top of that army to force more Disruptor shots coming out though. No, that was not good enough splitting wise. And that is going to force Cure backwards once again, back towards that 4th base location. Overall, supply-wise, it's still kind of equal to army supply specifically. Of course, Patience still a little bit ahead on the worker count overall. But then again, Cure, of course, does have available those juicy, nice mules. Is one single salvation, I would say. As he has to start microing his little Terran heart out to try and deal with this force of Protoss that is just moving across the map here. Oh boy, his army supply is still surprisingly larger than that of the Protoss. I mean, it doesn't appear like it should be, but I mean, with good EMPs, killing off Archons isn't that difficult. He needs to stay on his toes though. Patience still ahead, apparently on supply somehow. I mean, Cure's still ahead on army supply. It looks like he should be like on half, but actually doing a very good job here. Widowmine, nice Widowmine there. Oh, Zealots found this 4th base location. It is not a planetary fortress because it is in fact the main base that has been flown over. A desperation move being used here by Cure. As Cure is trying his best to hold on. He still has the supply to make something happen here. There's no 4th base yet for Patience that got recreated. Patience still as well. It looks like we might be entering into some sort of weird funky base trade scenario. As well, all the mining here for the Terran right now being reduced to absolute nothing. As well as Patience, his bases has been mined out. Well, except for this one. He's long distance mining, trying to get something happening in that sense. 3rd base for Cure has been taken out, but Cure still, of course, does have that 4th base. His natural base now trying to move towards another 4th base location. The 4th base location he tried to take previously, more in the middle of the map. Again, maybe making it more easy for him to start pushing from that location, counter-attacking there. Oh my dear lord, I would love to see a couple of Marines just making their way on the bottom left side, moving towards those probes long distance mining. That could be absolutely devastating, but it looks like Patience is just keeping Cure busy, not allowing him to do so. Alright, there is a nice train of probes that does get caught out, trying to long distance mine here on the right side. That's actually pretty smart for Patience, long distance mining, not just from a singular location, but going for the double, so it's easier for him to keep at least, well, a couple of that mining going for as long as possible. This base over here does get taken out again. Yeah, maybe it would have been better to put that base somewhere on the left side of the map as well, because that is where he's pushing, and that is where his other base is as well, so it's going to be easier for him to rotate into those locations. Patience still trying to hold on here, trying to do as much damage as possible, still denying again. All the mining here from both these players has been denied. 78 army supply versus 46. That should definitely go into favor of Cure here, but Patience making the best use out of those units as he possibly can. Both players absolutely broke now. Not a single bit of cash coming in for either of these players. There is still this base for Cure though. He did manage to save a lot of those SCVs, so they should be going back to mining pretty soon here. I say a lot of them. It's eight SCVs. I mean, it's alright. It's about as many as you start with. Guess he does have the mules, of course. Although he does only have mules from one base as well. Couple of zealots trying to get some sort of damage done here. Cure, as long as he denies the long distance mining, he should be in a good position because he is mining himself. Already in a really nice position, of course, because he's not long distance mining. He's just mining. And keeping those bases alive just because he is allowed, of course, to fly his bases. What a absolute crazy game we are watching. It looks like Cure may very well have done it. More EMPs blanketing the army here, and GG is called. Patience. What an absolute beast. Fighting as best as he can, trying to make a comeback happen there, but not managing to make it so. Just barely out of his grasp. What an insane game. A couple of times it really did look like Patience had everything he needed to start pushing the Terran bases and just absolutely kill Cure off, but Cure just not managing to lose his footing. I guess Patience not managing to make Cure lose his footing. Anyway. Oh my god, that was crazy. That was a crazy game, guys. That was a really good one, honestly. Yeah, I'm surprised with Cure, and then, you know what, we have to remember there's still two other players here. There's Creator and Maru as well. Maru, another absolute Terran beast. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people agree with me that Maru even scarier opponent than Cure. And now already Patience, the MVP of Patience one-man team, being taken out. Ragnarok, though, of course, still not somebody to just be looked over. He is a very strong opponent, and as we've witnessed before, definitely able to carry out some sort of a all-kill. Alright, here we go into game number 3 between these two teams. Cure fighting off against the Red Zerg right now. It is Ragnarok. Can he get himself rolling? It is going to be an all-kill if he does, and that should put Jin Yo in an absolute wonderful position on the scoreboard. That's going to put him up on 4 points. As well, I suppose Burn Park also knows getting... Wait, what happened there? It was 3 games as well, wasn't it? Also, no, wait. Am I mistaken here? Let me reread this. Alright, so we had Armani. We had Armani versus Alive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Armani also all-killed, didn't he? Yeah, I think so. My brain isn't too confused. I believe that was the case. Anyway. Yeah, they are on +2 points now, so they definitely did get that all-kill. Alright, that means that... I mean, Jin and Yo, if they also manage to get the all-kill, they'll still be ahead with 2 points, actually, from Burn Park this time. Is that right? Is that right? Am I saying that correctly? I think I am. Yeah, they should still be ahead with 2 points. They were ahead with 2 points before. Of course, they have played one less game as well, so that it could very well be that they just take an all-kill against them and then lose that many amount of points as well. It's going to come down to this. Let's see if they manage to secure that +2 lead, and with it enough points to truly call themselves 3rd place here. Definitely the places where you want to be in the top 4 at least. Patience one-man team on the other hand, I mean, if they manage to get an all-kill now for Ragnarok, they will still only get 1 point, right? If they get 1 point, they're still going to be on 5th place here. I mean, it's a little bit more manageable because they didn't give Jin Yo the, well, scary 3 points to jump ahead in score here as well. But it might be some way for them to get back on some sort of a winning position on the overall standings. But as it is right now, it's not looking too good for the Patience one-man team. And Cure on an absolute tear so far, taking out quite a hefty number of foes. 2 foes already falling to him. Of course, Patience and Super 2 Protoss. Can he do better against the Zerg opponent? Or will he be as good? As good would already be good enough, to be fair. Getting a little bit lucky, maybe, perhaps, with a couple of Widowmine drops, but you know what? That is the game of StarCraft 2. That is your opponent making mistakes and you making less mistakes overall, and allowing you to walk away with that game. Or maybe less crucial mistakes, I should say. Vikings, Hellions, all being constructed here. As an Overlord is trying to get into that main base. A nice denial there with those Marines ready to pick it off. But a secondary Overlord is coming in here. He's going to be able to scout out what is happening. Sees the... well, I guess it's not really that much of a mystery, honestly, is it? Doesn't see a 3rd base. Does see the Hellion counts. Does see the starport. And, well, I guess the Marine count also. He's just gonna add the Baneling Nest here. I mean, he did see the Hellion count. I kind of was expecting to see some sort of a Roach Warren being created, perhaps. But he's still making a lot of Queens as well. The Queens, of course, also more than enough to deal with Hellions, as long as they are heavy enough in numbers. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult to kind of block areas and stuff like that, because Queens, you know what? They are a little bit clunky to walk around with, I suppose, still, in some situations. But he does have pretty good creep spread. Would love to see some creep spread between the main base and the second base as well, though. Right, Hellions just clearing up the creep here with the Reaper accompanying them. And these Queens rotate quickly enough every time for these Hellions not to get too much done. We have the Hellions now poking into the Queen line as well as a Liberator. Dealing some damage here as well. Forcing these drones to move around and forcing more micro out of that Spore Crawler as well. Maniacally running back and forth between location. Oh, look at that. Quick positioning there for Ragnarok with that other one. Oh, just barely out of range actually. Losing a couple of drones. Oh boy, those Hellions are getting dangerously low. Alright, the Zerglings and another Queen popping out just in time to deny those Hellions from getting a good surface on top of the worker line here. And somehow, someway, still denying most of every creep spread that is going to be taking place here. As I say that, of course, more line 4 more creep tumors immediately being put down. Ragnarok realizing he needs to start getting his creep up and rolling as quickly as possible. Another Queen almost falling, but the Hellions not having enough firepower to go through Transfuse. More creep tumors? No, alright. Almost getting denied there a little bit. But yeah, overall, looks like we are gonna head into the other phase of the matchup here. We are gonna see the Bio make their appearance. +1/+1 both for both these players. About halfway, maybe a little bit quicker here for Cure, so he might have a small opportunity to get an engagement rolling where he does have that upgrade advantage. It's going to be a very, very tight window though. Hellions trying the best to burn off as many of these links as possible, as more Hellions coming in from the back. The Banelings not having speed yet, having difficulty catching up with these Marines that are being stimmed out into, well, just off the creep here. Gonna be able to move backwards once more. Needs to start targeting now those Banelings so he can actually start pushing in here perhaps. No, things equalize. Moving backwards. Too much Zerg is available, and of course they will be reproduced about as quickly as he can kill them right now, if not quicker. So probably a wise decision to start moving back and just stay on top of clearing out the creep. Doing a really good job as well. Like, there's pretty much no creep spread yet so far. After 8 minutes, there's like 2 lines of creep tumors, which is not that much. Here so far, I'm really impressed with him. He's been doing very, very well. Cleaning up more creep tumors here. Widowmines also joining in with this push. Gonna make this an even stronger way to deal with it. Nice use of the Zerglings though, taking out those Widowmines without taking too many losses. Actually, the minimal amount of losses on those Widowmines. Cure also though, again with a quick pickup, not allowing too many of his Marines being taken down here. Banelings also coming through in the shape of this Overlord drop. A Viking though, very well positioned, allowing them to take care of that. Probably didn't expect those Banelings to come out, but luckily for him he did manage to pick them off in time. So not losing kind of a big amount of Marines there. +2/+2, actually not yet started here for our Terran player. Very, very late on his +2/+2. Definitely seems like a mistake, unless if he wants to just end the game right here, right now. But then again, still, investing in that +2/+2 is so very much worth it. Especially if you're still expanding as well, then you definitely should get that +2/+2 rolling. Alright, there is the attack and there's the armor. Definitely very, very late to the party, so that should actually put an end to any frontal pushes from the Terran for a while here, as +2/+2 for Ragnarok is going to be finished. And if he does try to move out here, he's going to be met by an upgraded Zerg that is gonna ruin his day. And you know what, it looks like he still wants to do so. He's gonna attempt to move out, at least get some more ground potentially. No, that is definitely a move out. that's no longer a scouting force. You know what, grouping up with the other medevac drop here on the right side of the map. Oh, small force of the Zerg trying to intercept this, but getting caught out of position perhaps a little bit here. Needs to get his other units over to that location as well. More Banelings are being created. The Ultralis cavern not yet done. There are Vipers on the map though. They should be able to get nice blinding clouds on top of this Terran army. The Terran army though, very nice sieging position here. Not too many siege tanks on top of each other, so definitely needs to have multiple blinding clouds here to really negate all the splash damage. The siege tank on the high ground does get taken out. Actually, alright, I was commending him for splitting up his siege tanks, but look at that. Those are 3 siege tanks right on top of each other, actually. Okay, now he sees the Vipers. He's splitting them up right now. He's trying to a nice blinding cloud, so every single siege tank covered. And this push is just gonna have to go back as quickly as they came, without really having done anything so far. +2/+2 still not done for Cure as well. We have to remember this. Having quite a devastating upgrade disadvantage, so not trading out favorably against these links, of course. As he's trying his best to keep a ground here, looking to split as much as possible, but actually Ragnarok might very well just kill off our Terran opponents here. Or his Terran opponents. Nidus Worm also in the main base, absolutely everywhere now, right on top of the production, and a killer move right now, and GG is called. Oh my dear lord. That was absolutely brilliant. Ragnarok, what a absolute beast. Look at that. Rolling in with the forces on top of the army. He knew that he basically was going to kill that base for sure. He wasn't definitely going to kill off his opponent, but with that Nidus Worm, getting all those links on top of the production as well, that was definitely a check and checkmate maneuver there. Not allowing the Terran to really recomposition himself and get everything rolling again out of those production facilities. Absolute brilliant play from our Zerg here for Team Patience one-man team. And again, I have to say, it might very well have to be changed into Ragnarok one-man team, because he just keeps proving himself. He's just an absolute beast when it comes to these team games. And let's see if he can do it 2 more times. And also, of course, we're gonna have to see whether we're gonna have Maru or Creator being chosen here by Jin Yo. It's probably gonna be Creator. Maru, I believe, doesn't necessarily want to play if he doesn't have to. Or is, you know what? He's just happy to be the final card to be played here by his team. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to wait and see. Of course, guys, after today, even if we do end it here, tomorrow we will be back as well. And then the day afterwards, we will be back as well once more. We have 3 days in a row with beautiful BJ Destruction Team League. And then on Sunday as well, we'll have another round. And then 1 week later, on another Sunday, we will have the last and final day where everything will be decided. Anyway, look at that. They are actually bringing out the big guns, guys. It is the Blue Terran Maru. He's gonna show us all how it's done, hopefully. Oh, I'm a Maru fan already. I'm sorry if it's going to be biased, but I'm actually using him as my portrait now ever since BlizzCon. Alright, I'll try to contain my Maru enthusiasm and fanboyism. Okay, Ragnarok, also an absolute beast, of course. Getting the first all-kill, I believe, in this tournament. And, yeah, I mean, so far, standard stuff. We're gonna have to be patient here a little bit, guys. I know Patience is already gone, but we're gonna need his ID in our head. We have to be patient. Things gotta always start up at the start of these games. These players get themselves into a position where they are able to make those dream, beautiful plays. Pretty sure Dream is also a play. Anyway. Third base. Hello. Hello, Mr. Third Base. It's a quick third base, actually. 1 minute 55, something like that. Definitely trying to keep Maru from blocking that third base location. And just wanting to get it thrown down there without any delay whatsoever. I mean, Terrans might just start going out with their scouting SCV a lot quicker, just so they can actually get that block off. But then again, there might already be a win for the Zerg as well, as they are now forcing the Terrans to scout out with SCVs for that early on. Of course, any type of proxy can definitely do quite a bit against such play, but ooh, almost getting that Spore Crawler up, but quick shot with that Reaper does manage to put that drone out of his misery. Starports on the way now as well. Gonna be seeing some Hellions popping out real soon too. There they are. Released on the production tab. And then later we'll see them pop out again, but this time out on the map. And then hopefully we will be seeing them pop a third time when they're popping off against those Lings. And getting a bunch of multi-kills. Or monster kills. I'm gonna have to start doing that if we... Anyway, alright. Fusion Core. Gonna get created. Oh my god, Maru, you naughty little boy. Beautiful micro there. Moving his Reaper in the way of that drone, making the extractor. What a maneuver. You see it sometimes, but you know what? It's always great when you do see it. It's such a tiny little thing, but like, oh my god. It is still so incredibly cool. Reaper, did the Reaper die? I think it did. I think the Reaper dead. Dead Reaper. Very unfortunate. Link trying to come in here, trying to get a scout. Unfortunately for him, the Hellions are in position to stop this scout. And now the Overlord is going to be the ticket into the base to try and get another scout. There's no Overlord speed, and nor is it in production, so I'm not even sure if this Overlord starts flying in, it will definitely get the scout of the battlecruisers coming in, but it looks like Ragnarok already adding spore crawlers here. I'm not sure if he's noticed exactly the battlecruiser attack already. Maybe if he's just, you know, he's feeling that he has to start preparing for something like that, just in case. Because, of course, getting caught out with a battlecruiser suddenly, you know, base, that could be GG right then and there. Now, Maru does have his Hellions. Only 4 of them out on the map as well. Maybe that already out as well. A little bit of a tell here for Ragnarok that, you know what? You're not spending that much money on your Hellions. Your Hellion count should be a lot higher. They should have been at my front door denying creep. Well, it's not there. What else could you be doing? And you know what? The ticket there is most likely this battlecruiser. And there it is, the battlecruiser. Coming in, coming through. Trying to get a lot of damage done here already. Killing off 3-4 drones. And that is looking like it might be it. The Queen's plenty in number. Gonna maybe actually kill off this battlecruiser right from the get-go. No. It should get away. It should definitely get away. Alright. So safeguarding that first battlecruiser. That's already a pretty good start. 4 drone kills. Maybe not as many as you wanted to get. But you know what? Keeping that battlecruiser alive for now is more important. He's coming back in for round number 2. You crazy, Maru. Are you absolutely mental? This is... Oh, my dear lord. That was a little bit greedy. And luckily for him, he didn't get punished by it. But, I mean, it did give his Hellions the opportunity to start moving in here with all the queens on the top side of the map. He's not going to get this base, though, but still... You know what? A little bit of damage being taken there on top of that hatchery might be making it easier for him to start picking that off at a later state in the game. But yeah, overall, gonna have to wait and see. Yamato Cannon also almost ready, and more battlecruisers are coming out on the map. So again, we're seeing this very, well, it's a pretty well-known style actually, but I want to say very old. It's a little bit old now, I guess. The battlecruisers into the battle mech army composition. We were seeing a couple of people trying to go for the battlecruisers, not as all-in-y in a way, where they would not make as many battlecruisers and then no Yamato Cannon and just transition into the bioforces afterwards, because of course, well, Zergs have gotten so good at dealing with them and just going for the Corruptor, and that is exactly what Ragnarok is doing. It looks like he does also know the answer against this army composition, and that's what he's going for right now. So he should have all the tools that he needs, but maybe potentially, of course, Maru might still be able to do enough damage, and with his, well, famous amount of micro, make something happen regardless of the amount of Corruptors that are out on the field. And Infestors too, of course. Infestors, what is going to be your plan right here? Is he going to go straight into the upgrades for the Infestors? Is he going to go straight into the Hive Tag? Nice, quick cancel that before anything got lost. Alright, Yamato Cannons as well, cleaning up 2 of those Corruptors already, right from the get-goes. And just TPing on out of there. I mean, yep, couple of links. Multi-killing their way across the Thunderbird Plaza. The ravines and ruins of Thunderbird. 3 battlecruisers now on the map. Yeah, he actually did stop creating battlecruisers here. I have to say that's... It's kind of interesting. Getting 3 battlecruisers, even though you did get the Yamato cannon. Usually you see continuous battlecruiser production. You know what? I kind of like this not continuous battlecruiser production now. Just investing into the siege tanks, investing into the Hellions and Cyclones instead. I feel like might be a good choice. I would like to see a couple of Thors also though joining in right here. The siege tanks, of course, do make it a little bit more easy for the Zerg to try and counter this force using, well, the 3 units that they do have, especially on a big map like this, using the Locusts or even Broodlords as well, of course. Going to be very dangerous. The Hive Tech almost ready as the +1 air weapons also, well, just now finishing up. So definitely can start that Great Aspire right as that Hive has been completed. And that is going to make things very difficult for those siege tanks, of course. Alright, 3 more Yamato cannons going off here. And, ooh, quick. Well, jump away. PCs, once again, going to safety. Gonna get repaired here. Gonna get those little love kisses from the SCVs from underneath. That sounds very weird. Probably shouldn't say it like that. Anyway. Alright, Maru realizing that the time must be ticking here. He knows he knows that the Locusts are there. He heard the Nidus Woman. That's gonna be his indicator to start moving out here. Losing 3 siege tanks though due to Biles. That is quite heavy. There's quite a big blow there for the Terran player here. Doesn't want these siege tanks to be clumped up as much as they were there. Nice pickup though with that orbital command center being able to lift up and then run away with those SCVs here. Alright, the siege tanks are in a pretty good position. Can Maru make this happen? This is where he needs to do real significant damage to truly blunt the tools that the Zerg has against him. There is a wave of Locust available though at the top side of the map. Big surround is being set up here by Ragnarok. A lot of Banelings as well. Gonna try their best to start connecting onto these Hellbats and, well, pretty much everything here. Nice targeting with the siege tanks on top of that, not allowing that to happen. A lot of Hellbats still available. The battle cruisers had to CP out of there, but there's still Thor shooting down the Corruptors here, and there's still quite a lot of Terran on the ground here. Can Maru make it happen though? He's getting closer and closer to that base. Can he get actual significant economic damage here? Losing another siege tank though to those Biles. And so much stuff here is just so good against those siege tanks, but they are still a necessary force for Maru to use just because of those Banelings, just because of those Roaches. He needs to have something against that, and those siege tanks are his answer right here. Oh boy, the Locust coming in. Does Maru still have enough? I don't think he has. That's too many Roaches to really deal with. At least he did kill off the base, but he lost his entire army to do so. Now Maru, of course, does have 5 base economy rolling for himself. A 6th base is trying to get produced on as well. Actually, Maru, with his reinforcements, it looks like he very well might still be able to make this into a reasonable victory. He's gonna continue pushing here. Oh my god! And that is Ragnarok out of there. Ragnarok GGing out, actually. Alright. I didn't think Ragnarok was in that bad of a spot there, actually. Was he really in that bad a spot? I guess he saw the 6th base for Maru. I mean, Maru did have an amazing economy, and then losing his base already, getting dropped. I suppose, yeah, overall it was a pretty bad position, but still, my dear lord. We didn't get to see Broodlords. I still feel like Broodlords may have been his ticket out of there. Anyway, that means that Maru takes game number 4 and into favor for Jin Ayo, giving them a 3-1 lead. Well, lead, I have to say victory overall. That means they got 2 more points on the board, and that is gonna put them up with 1 point ahead above Burn Park, I believe. Again with, well, this time with 1 singular point. Unfortunately for them, losing a point to Patience one-man team here. Wait, is that the way it goes? Isn't? Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see for the Liquidpedia people to deal with this math problem. I'm sure they're watching, laughing at me now. Oh, man. I shouldn't do maths on stream. Even easy math. +1 and +2. Anyway, there it is. Let's just look at something else, alright? Maru, Cure and Creator versus Ragnarok, Patience and Super. That is today's results. Cure being an absolute beast. Maru finishing it off for him. Ragnarok still managing to get 1 point on the board here for the Patience one-man team. The Patience two-man team, maybe. Or Super. Oh, man. Anyway. Ragnarok showing his prowess once again and showing that he is in fact a opponent to be feared and always able to do something there. Alright, next match on day 8. This is going to be tomorrow at the same time it will start. Potato Pleb will be your caster and I'm sure he's better at maths than me. Anyway, we have Maru, Cure and Creator versus Sue, Fantasy and DRG waiting for us. They're already itching to go. Maru, Cure and Creator, can they make it happen against, well, the second ranked team right now? Wait, is that the second ranked team? I don't think it is, actually. It's the first ranked team. Yeah, it is. We're ahead with +6 points right now on the leaderboard. Something's happening. Confused sometimes by the standings. Anyway, somebody's gotta explain this to me at one point. So, Busan Guy 2 will be able to potentially go up with 3 more points here, putting them at +9, with the second place being tied right now with +3 for Burn Park and Jinna Yo. Is that Burn Park and Jinna Yo? Actually, no, that is. Let me see who that is on my little translation sheet. That is the, is that the Steamed Bun Bang? I think it might be. I think it might be the Steamed Bun Bang, yeah. Busan Guy 2, that's Busan. This is Jinna Yo. Alright, so, yeah. In fact, Burn Park right now being below Jinna Yo. First place should be Busan Guy 2. Second place tied for Jinna Yo now and Steamed Bun Bang. Anyway, not too shabby, not too shabby. Looks like we will be having more games tomorrow though, guys. Let me see if that's already up there as well. Day number 8. We have at least one of the matches waiting. We're just gonna have one single match. It looks like we will actually. Alright, fair enough. Is that going to be another best of 5? Yeah, it is another best of 5. Alright. I wish I had somebody in my ear right now just telling me what I need to say. Just like, no, you're wrong on this. You should say this. This is the scores. But, yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm alone. This is me. Just me. Well, I do have some people helping me, of course, but they aren't helping me as much as somebody in the studio would be helped, actually. Or just, you know what? Maybe sometimes they get more so, just maybe annoyed is the wrong word, but distracted, perhaps as well. I can just keep my focus here. Alright, so this is the schedule right here, guys. As we can see, we still have 4 more days on the board to go. Tomorrow and on Friday, the day after tomorrow, of course, we will be having more games that are explained here in Korean. And then on the 10th, on the Sunday, you know what, 1 day of rest on Saturday, we will have another nice couple of matches. And then 1 week later, we will have the finals of this BJ Team Destruction match. And of course, don't forget, we also have another tournament. These are not Korean people, though. It will be on the same channel, on this channel over here. We're going to have a lot of Europeans fighting against Americans. And Americans fighting against Americans and Europeans fighting against Europeans. We even have Europeans fighting against people while they are in America. And I don't think we have Americans fighting against people while they are in Europe. But you know what? Oh god, we're bowing. Okay, that was it, guys. I've been really Kozen. I hope you had a good time. We'll talk later once more. I'll see you in 2 days. But tomorrow, of course, you'll have Potato Pleb helping you out, giving you amazing casting. Anyway, have a good one, guys. See you next time.